Okay, soweit, ja. Liebe Journalistinnen, liebe Journalisten, mein Name ist Jacqueline Nsia und ich bin Teil des Auswahlgremiums für den Wettbewerb Berlinale Special und Perspectives. Herzlich willkommen zur Pressekonferenz von dem Wettbewerbbeitrag YUNAN der 75. Berlinale. Ja, ich freue mich sehr, Ihnen das hochkarätige und international bekannte Filmteam vorzustellen. Und ich fange an, ganz rechts außen von mir, Dorothee Beinemeyer, Produzentin. Hallo. Sibel Kekilli, Schauspielerin als Hirtin. George Khabbaz, Schauspieler als Munir. Amir Fakreddin, Regisseur, Drehbuchautor und Schnitt. Tom Wlaschiha, Schauspieler als Karl. Oh no, haben wir diese? Oh, I'm sorry. Wir haben diese, sorry, Entschuldigung. Hanna Schygulla als Wlaschiha natürlich. Verzeihung, und Tom Wlaschiha als Karl. Und gleich neben mir Nidal Al-Ashka als Munirs Mutter. Herzlich willkommen. Vielen Dank. Ja, ich würde gerne mit der Eröffnungsfrage beginnen, wenn Sie mir erlauben. Amir, die Frage geht an dich. YUNAN ist der zweite Teil einer Trilogie. Der erste Teil ist The Stranger und ich glaube, du arbeitest bereits auch am dritten Teil. Mich würde interessieren, in YUNAN geht es sich ja auch sehr um Zugehörigkeit, das Gefühl der Sehnsucht und Exil und die Gefühle, die so dazwischen liegen, die sich sehr schwer beschreiben lassen. Und mich würde gerne interessieren, was dich zu diesen Themen zieht. Und vielleicht kannst du ein bisschen darüber erzählen.
Ja. So I started this trilogy idea when I wanted to explore about experience I had, of course, that also basically imbued all my life and in the occupied Golan Heights, where usually, you know, the terms of exile, when we hear it, we connotate it with movement, that someone needs to or forced to move because of wars and national crises. And but in my situation, it was just a border that was, I didn't need to move at all in the occupied Golan Heights, and my home itself became disconnected from its homeland, which is Syria. And then living there was just a border, I cannot go there. I felt like, okay, it's a homeland I don't know, I never been to, it was in the 60s, but it's a homeland I fantasize with a lot. So this experience of exile somehow shaped the whole idea of the trilogy, that I said I'm going to explore the theme of home, basically, whether it is in the past, in the present, or in the future. So I would say that shortly, yeah.
Thank you. Ich öffne, bitte.
Hello, it's Yannis Rauzos from Greece. In Greece, we have a word, it's called nostalgia. That means the pain, in Greek, from algos, for somebody that thinks and has the memory of its own homeland and wants to come back but feels deeply the pain. I would like you to portray me the cinematographical and the great phenomenology of this film about this sense of nostalgia, this sense of coming home. And also, I like to address a question to Mr. Khabbaz and Ms. Schygulla. How much this interaction between them is also an interaction not just between two cultures, but also between two different but so close existential identities? Thank you so much.
If I understood it right, then I would say that the idea of nostalgia. Actually, when I was asked about the trilogy, I wanted to say that part of it also is an exploration of the nostalgic character itself. And I stated somehow that it's, you know, nostalgia is usually directed towards the past, but I do believe that it could be directed towards the future as well, and in this constant search of home. And so, I do really, this is a trilogy, so our first film is really the nostalgic that looks at the future. He's fantasizing, romanticizing with his own pain and struggle, of course, and his desires. And in this one, also it's a little bit, not only towards the past, but also towards the absurd, perhaps, as well, which is, unfortunately, as the only way out from this trouble. And the third one, I would keep it now unspoken of. So that's how I say. So nostalgia, definitely, it's something that is present in my research as a filmmaker, artist, and yes. So thank you. I hope I answered. So the question was to you also. The other question. Could you repeat the second question for?
I didn't quite get the
Yes.
question. Can you resume it just very shortly?
Yes, I can repeat. How much your two, let's say, the connection in between you two, between the character of Mr. Khabbaz and your character, the character Wlaschiha, somehow it's not just a class of different cultures and identities, but it is also a deeper connection of a common existential sense in between them. Two existential identities in one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have to get away from this nationalistic thing. It hasn't been bringing but tears, wars, being people abused in the sense of you have to fight for your country, for your nation. All this has now, shouldn't be at stake anymore. But of course, now we have sort of the worst people which are in charge of the world. Yeah. So we have to, I don't know, I feel quite impotent against that, but everything, life is movement, so maybe they move out at some time.
We hope.
I hope. But I just always felt, I come from a region, I was born in an area of Europe which was partly always, you couldn't define who was Polish, who was German. My mother called me after a friend of hers who disappeared because she was Jewish, but she didn't quite dare to put the age and the end of my name, Hanna, because it was already, I was born in 1943, so it was still Nazi time, and it was dangerous. I always, she didn't even tell me. I asked her very late, how did you come to this name? I like it very much. She said it's about a friend of mine who disappeared. So my mother she was always speaking up about this very dark chapter of German history that all is tied up with bringing up uprising national feelings. If you go back long enough in the history of everybody, we are all mixtures of something, mixtures of movements. People have been always on the move, not because they don't like, not because they have a soul of gypsy, but because there was need of moving.
Survival.
Yeah. And so it's, I don't know why I say that.
But I think it really answers the question.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
So I think this is, I'm very shattered by the upcoming of the national thing again here in Germany. It's everywhere, unfortunately, but in Germany it is still something that is connected to some catastrophe that's not that far away. And this is why nostalgia and all this, for me, is not, I liked a lot the film of Tarkovsky. By the way, Tarkovsky has always been, our love for Tarkovsky has brought us together. But it's, I'm not into nostalgia, neither of what I've been. I want to be now and here. And I'm a kind of survivor of many times. And as long as I can enjoy being where I am and when I am, I feel like I'm right on. And all the rest, all this seduction by we have to go along, yeah, I heard this, what's her name? I'm living now in Paris, but what's her name? Probably our former chancellor, the lady.
Angela Merkel?
Huh?
Merkel? Angela Merkel?
No, Merkel is a long time ago. No, the one who's going to come. What's her name? Yes. Weigel. I heard her by coincidence on the radio today, and she was talking about getting rid of all the foreigners that are bringing violence to our country, as if you can say it. There's so much violence. If you look at the femicides in every country in Europe and all this, you cannot make a big fuss about some foreigners who flip out. You can if you want to use them, but it's not right. And this is why I'm saying let's get out of this national identification. It's not more, it has never been anything that was blessed. It has always brought misery, trouble, wars, feeding illusions of people who are dissatisfied with their life, that they become somebody, part of a nation, a glorious nation. It has always been lies and manipulation. And I don't want to I mean, we have to all be prepared to stand up for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's very true.
It's something that makes stand up my hairs on my... No. Okay.
Hello.
That's it.
Hello.
Yes.
Malik
Next question,
Berkati,
please.
JMAG Switzerland. A question for the director. The music, the score, and the sound design play a great and essential role for the narrative and the film. Could you a little bit explain how you conceive it?
Of course, thank you for this beautiful question, because it's a moment to acknowledge and the sound team and all the team, of course, especially the sound designers, Kunil Song and Marco Stemler, and our beautiful, great composer, Suad Bushnaq, which is here, right there. Thank you, Suad, really, for this beautiful score. And I would say, I mean, I have two answers, kind of. I'm going to go with a short but personal one. That so I started watching films when I was 8 years old, sneaking into the salon at midnight, putting on the TV on the film channel only, while my parents are asleep, and I would put it on mute. I lived in the village in the Golan Heights, as I said, and we didn't have cinema at all. But my first encounter with this TV channel, it was like I had to watch films without a sound to not wake my parents up. So and then later on when I see cinema, when I use sound a lot, I give it, because it was in my imagination always, the sound, you know, I needed to reconstruct the sound itself. So in my approach to cinema, I am very much interested in what is of course in sight, but is also very much interested in what is out of sight, because that also matters, and that also perhaps somehow shapes our life with us not really focusing on it. But things that are out of sight are not less important than the things in sight. So that's why we do this beautiful work and dedicated work of sound on the film.
Thank you.
Hello, Eli Nakhle from Cinematic Show على Saudi TV. I will ask the question in Arabic to Mr. George and Madame Nidal. جورج، بيهمني كثير أعرف الفكرة اللي شفناها بآخر الفيلم اللي هو هل سأنسى. قد ايه عندك اياها انت بشخصك؟ قد ايه انت كمان بتفكر فيها؟ والكونكشن بينك وبين امير كانه اثنيناتكم عم تحكوا عن نفس الفكره، بس كل واحد عم بيقدمها بطريقته. فبحب اسمع هذا الموضوع. ست نضال، شو اللي حمسك وشجعك واذا بدك استفزك تتكوني جزء بهذا الفيلم؟ ثانك يو.
شكرا لي. رح جاوبك بالعربي كمان. أنا الفيلم كله لما قريت النص خضني صراحة، وفي أسئلة، في تقاطعات بين شخصيتي وبين شخصية الكاتب، إن كان منير وإن كان أمير، كتيرة بيناتنا. وهيدا الشيء خلاني كتير أتحمس للدور، وحسيت إنه بهالعمر وبهالنضج نوعا ما اللي أنا وصلت له، إجاني هالفيلم كأنه هدية لأعبر عن أسئلة وجودية كتيرة، طبعاً على طريقة أمير الرائعة الشاعرية والفلسفية. فأكيد كل مشهد بالفيلم شقفة من أفكاري، طبعاً بمقاربة أمير، وهذا الشيء عطاني غنى زيادة وأبعاد زيادة للأفكار اللي بفكر فيها أنا، وللأسئلة للتناقضات، خاصة الأسئلة الوجودية، لأنه في بعد بالفيلم وجودي أكثر من يعني سؤال عام، أكثر ما هو بس سؤال خاص له علاقة بالاغتراب بالبقع الجغرافية بس، يعني حتى الاغتراب عن من مطرح ما جينا أساساً. فهيدا اللي شدني للفيلم أكثر شيء صراحة.
Can anybody translate?
They should translate.
No, doesn't work. Sorry.
Okay.
Nidal, would you like to answer?
Yes, of course. رح كمان جاوب بالعربي. تعرفوا كلكم اللي بيعرفوا إنه أنا بشتغل بالمسرح، وأنا امرأة مسرح، واخترت هيدي الطريق. ولكن أوقات مثل هالمرة هيدي إني شايفة فيلمه لأمير بدون ما أعرفه، فيلمه الأولاني. حدا يترجم له لهنا؟
بيترجموا لك.
لأني شفته فيلمه الأولاني، هالقد خضني فيلمه. أول شيء لأنه مصور بالجولان، وهالقد في عاطفة وفي حس، إنه تعجبت وسألت ميدو هيدا الشاب اللي بيعمل هيك فيلم. طلع عامل فيلم أكبر من عمره ب20 سنة ب40 سنة. وبس طلبوا مني إني اشترك بهيدا الفيلم. أكيد جورج خباز صديق قديم، مع إنه صغير بس صديق قديم. بس دوروتي وأمير وكلهم يعني حبوا إني أنا حبيت إني أنا اشترك بهيدا الفيلم، لأنه حاسة بحسوا المرهف لأمير فخر الدين، وهذا الشيء بيميزه عن كتير من المخرجين. لذلك حبيت أعمل هيدي التجربة وانبسطت كتير.
حبيبتي نضال.
شكرا لكم. شكرا. شكرا.
Well, here first, and then at the back, and then we come back to you. Okay.
Hi, Sleman Abdallah, Recife 22. Congratulations, everybody. I have a question for George Khabbaz. I would like to ask you in English and then in Arabic. about your experience in performing a role as a foreign actor in a foreign language, a language you don't speak, in a foreign country. This is somehow an echo to the film. بس بدي أسألك عن تجربتك وتحضير للدور ببلد أجنبي وبلغة أجنبية. قضيت وقت بألمانيا قبل ما تلعب الدور. شكرا كثير.
أنا أول ما عرض علي السكريبت أمير قريته بالفرنسي طبعا، بالإنجليزي أول فيرسيون، بعدين بعت لي النص بالألماني. قلت له بدي أحكي ألماني وأنا ما عندي أي فكرة عن اللغة الألمانية. فقال لي إيه؟ قلت له بس أنا ما بعرف. قال لي ولا يهمك. ما كنت عارف إنه هالشي هو حاسبه إنه راح يساعدني كتير بحالة الغربة، بحالة الاغتراب، بحالة كريزة الهوية اللي عنده إياها منير. بس بعده كله أخذت صفوف مش باللغة، بدوري بس. طبعا أنا فاهم شو عم بقول لأنه معي النص بالإنجليزي وبالفرنسي، فاهم شو عم بقول. علمتني جينيفر، بوجه لها تحية، اللغة الألمانية بلبنان. وكان في كوتش كمان على السات كمان اسمها جينيفر ثاقبت، كانت عم بتساعدني بهيدي. ساعدني كتير البعد، الغربة عن اللغة والغربة عن المكان والغربة عن الأشخاص. وأنا كنت بحالة غربة فظيعة لما رحنا على الجزيرة، مثل ما شفتوا هذه الجزيرة القاحلة الغريبة اللي عندها طقوسها الطبيعية الغريبة. فكانت كل حالة ما بعرف شو جمع غربة، كل حالة خلينا نقول غربات كانت ساعدتني كتير ببناء الشخصية وبالحالة اللي شفتني فيها بالفيلم. بس بدون شك انه اكسبيرينس كتير حلوة، انه تعرفت على لغة جديدة، ولو اخذت شوي منها مش كتير، بس يعني عززت عندي او زادت علي ثقافة اضافية بحياتي.
My name is Mahari Sigi, African Refugee News. Thank you for this film, because this film is two layers, one modern, and then you choose also the biblical one. But you choose a young woman in the biblical, and the lady. How did you manage to do this? Because this was really a perfect film for this thing. Then I have a question for the two ladies, Hanna, Schygulla, and you both come with the compass of Fatih Akin, one of the greatest directors in the world. Can you tell me what was your experience working with him? Because we don't see him anymore.
Oh.
No. I just saw him in last week, actually.
Oh, yeah, but
he gave up.
Actually, so I will. Yes, I think I didn't know much. I think I was lucky, and I did the right decision in casting these people here, these beautiful artists that they are on this podium here. They are every one of the people here is such a world that is like also with a great sensitivity to the world, with their own background of complexities as well, like all of us, that they brought themselves, and we worked always. I didn't do auditions. I really chose the people because of them, of their eyes, of their rhythms, and exactly this is what you see in the film. This is I think I was lucky to have this beautiful cast with me. And I got to know them also personally, and I'm honored to be in their life, and that they're in my life as well. And so I just want you to know that what you saw was really the real soul out in that image. And yeah, I didn't do really much, really. I just have some questions. So, and then I would give you to answer your part.
So you asked about Fatih Akin. What was the exactly question? Yeah. Head on, yeah. Yeah.
You worked with him, gegen the Bahn.
Yeah.
That was my first Berlinale.
Yeah.
So it's 20 years ago. And she worked with him also, but
Yeah.
I know her, she worked with Fassbinders too. And so I just wanted to know what was the experience working with Fatih Akin, because a lot of people don't, they just threw him away, you know, because he's one of the greatest, I think, also in Italy, he's very famous. So, and this film was also played in Italy a lot, yeah, in the south of Italy. I was told by a journalist here. So if you can tell us more.
I mean, we shouldn't compare them with each other because Amir is Amir, Fatih is Fatih. And yeah, but so every director working with, you know, different directors are, how do you say it, differently, a different experience. And I have to say, even you said a young woman, it was 21 years ago, so it was very, very young. Of course, I have now more experience, and maybe today, even we would shoot head on, I would act maybe differently, so I'm not looking, you know, how do you say it, into the past. I'm just, you know, what's the next role? And Hanna and myself and I, we worked actually for Winterreise 2006. Hanna, I don't know if you remember, but it was also a beautiful shoot. So we met during, of course, Fatih Akin at the festival, and then we worked with each other, and now it's a different director. I love Amir. Yeah, and I love Fatih as well, so please don't get me wrong, but yeah, now is Yunan the movie while we are sitting here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Antonella Montesi. I come from Switzerland, Corriere dell'Unità. First of all, congratulations for the big film and the big emotion to all crews and to the director.
Thank you.
I would like to say to Ms. Sibel Kekilli, I enjoy a lot your performance because for me you look like a Greek goddess. I remember of Medea. I thought to Medea of Pasolini. I think you are like Miss Anna Schygulla said, without nationality. I have now so very emotional because you have a speech. I think you say just a word at the end, Munir. I think.
That's right. That's right.
But yours was a big international, universal language, and you gave us a lot. I think eagle, which religion, which nationality. So thank you. And then I have two little technical questions to you. Why I come from Italy? The co-production with Italy because Murgia, because Apulian.
Yeah.
And which is the poetry, the beautiful poetry at the end. Thank you a lot. Thank you.
Okay. It was a compliment more for you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Would answer my question?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
It was not like a question I felt for you. So thank you for also noticing and noting this beautiful insight that you had towards the character of the shepherd story in this film. So the question was about Puglia, and why did we choose it, or is it? Sorry, okay. So we shot in Puglia with the fund, and it's a chance also to thank the Puglia Film Fund for that, for their distribution, for their contribution. I really wanted a place that like a no land, like there is no civilization. There's just valleys that that they don't really tell you much. They just like could be biblical, could be yes, and of course we scouted and we found this beautiful place. And it felt like a dream as much as in the film, So I think it was a good decision. Also, I wanted something warm. I wanted temperatures that reminds me of home. But this is another maybe statement here that home is wherever you feel home. Mm-hmm. So or wherever it is also possible that it reminds you of home. Home should not also be only, of course, as Hanna said before. And actually, the first time I met Hanna, she told me, why can't someone have two homes? After I first pitched her the film. And that made me, of course, think a lot. And that's a valid question as well. But in order to have two homes, we have two choices. Whether we continue to look at each other, at the strangers, as threat, or we let go for our human experience and enjoy our humanity together and accept and not label ourselves or each other, sorry. That's how, for me, somehow, what is home, or the idea of two homes. So, but Puglia was a beautiful place. The poetry. I wrote the poetry in the end.
No,
and it's something I felt that I think this poetry is more for as much as all the art forms in this cinema medium. And I really love poetry. I did it as well in my first film. I think poetry, the written poetry and the spoken poetry, are not so much, they don't make their way very much into film as much as it was before also, I think. And it's just a form I love to express myself with. So images as well and sound, but also the words. And I start, and I think this is maybe a moment to say that in the beginning there's poetry as well of Al-Mutanabbi from 1,500 years ago, one of our great poets in the Arab world. And he wrote this beautiful sentence. For me, this is a film. It's like, I crave for your presence, and I long for you so much, but I struggle with this longing. But what is even more painful and strange is the moment I will meet you. This also offers itself in this poetry, that time is also important. When time passes, you also lose. So space and time in this situation of the exile and the displacement are also crucial. So we have to accept each other. We have to accept that we lose sometimes and we're lost. And we have to accept that also, that we can really find, or we should actually find the way to be together. So yeah. Yes.
Wow. Thank you.
Hi.
Sorry.
Hello. I'll ask my question for Amir and George, because we born and raised almost in the same area. We've been fed the idea of homeland since birth, and then we realized what it truly is. Did you find your homeland at the end, or this sense of loss still remain inside?
I would end with a quote from Ulysses Case from the film of Theo Angelopoulos, which I love him so much. There's a question that he asks the main character there. How many borders must we cross to reach home? I would end with this.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
لأن أنا عايش بلبنان بوطني، ومرات كتير بحس بغربة بقلب وطني، بأزمات كبيرة من أوقات أزمات كرامات، أوقات أزمات إنسانية. طبعا هي انعكاس لأزمات سياسية واقتصادية وأمنية إلى آخره. فمش بالضرورة الغربة شيء داخلي، مش بالضرورة تكون بس جغرافية، بس بحبه لبيتي. يعني بلدي هو بيتي، بحبه لو شو ما صار فيه، ورح هيك شبهه بالبيت، لأنه بيتك اللي ربيتي فيه واللي أصحابك فيه، وفي ناس بتحبيهم مدفونين فيه. ومش بس هيك، في فنانين كمان لبنانيين أو من كل البلدان عززوا لنا وطنيتنا، حببونا بالوطن بشيء أو بآخر، يمكن بشكل شاعري مش منطقي، بس هذا شيء مأثر فينا ومخلينا نتمسك ببيتنا، مع أنه يمكن السقف يدلو في أوقات والشباك ينخلع والمي تفيض، بس هذا شيء ما بيمنع أنه هيدا بيتك، وبتجربي قد ما فيك تتكيفي أو تزبطي لتضلك بهالدفى اللي تعودت عليه.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we have to come to the end for the press conference. Thank you, and we wish you the best of luck for the premiere this evening at Berlinale Palast.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
viel sagen, Thomas, zu will. Deswegen, dass ich da